Please get ready. Start. Inaugurating the Silver Jubilee session of the Inter-University Board, the President said, "It is a matter of deep satisfaction to me, and I am grateful that I have been given the opportunity of inaugurating this conference of Vice Chancellors and other representatives of universities of India. We have recently had a commission appointed by the Government of India to go into the question of the university education. It had among its members distinguished educationists not only from India but also from foreign countries. The Commission has submitted a very valuable report containing a review of the achievements of our university education and also suggestions and recommendations which are of a far-reaching character. We are now a free country with a republican constitution which requires men and women with the requisite qualifications to make democracy a success in this country. We have had many republics in this country, but they were very small as compared to the republic which we have just established. The responsibility of the people has correspondingly grown in size and intensify, and it is for our educational institutions to fit the citizens for the great task that awaits them. A constitution by itself cannot achieve much. A certain standard of intelligence, public spirit, and devotion to national interests are also necessary. It is the function of educational institutions to create the atmosphere in which these qualities may be developed and to impart to the individuals coming under their influence the necessary qualifications. The value of the University Commission report lies very largely in the fact that it recognizes the necessity for a fundamental change in the setup of things in this country and proceeds to deal with its educational problems. On that basis, it has therefore to recommend very many revolutionary changes. It has further the merit of not contemplating a complete break with the past but of conserving the best that is available. I have no doubt that you, as representatives of our universities and custodians of our modern educational traditions and aspirations, will give your thought to its recommendations and suggestions. You permit me to indicate just a few points out of the many that are mentioned in your report. Although our universities have been in existence for nearly a century, the increase in their number during the last 40 years has been great, and during the last few years it has been almost phenomenal. There is also a marked tendency to create more and still more universities. This shows the interests which people at large have developed in higher education. With the number of schools and colleges coming up, the number of universities was bound to multiply. I am happy that this should be so. At the same time, I have a feeling that in a matter like this, mere multiplication does not necessarily imply a proportionate improvement in our mental and intellectual equipment. I should not be misunderstood if I confess to a sense of disappointment at what my limited experience tells me, a certain deterioration in the intellectual equipment of the alumni of these institutions. But apart from this feeling, which may or may not be shared by those more intimately connected with our institutions, I feel that the time has come when a certain reorientation of our whole scheme of education has to be considered and attempted. It is because the University Commission report takes us in that direction that I attach so much value to it. There are a few fundamental questions which have to be answered. Take, for example, the question of examinations. Examinations have so far dominated our educational system. It could not be otherwise in view of the circumstances in which our educational institutions have grown. The students too had no option but looking to the certificates more than anything else. They think their future depended almost wholly on these certificates. Therefore, examinations naturally become the main consideration both for the teacher and the student on the one hand and the affiliated institutions on the other. Unemployment has become a big problem in India. This in turn has proved that our certificate-oriented examinations are not enough to provide bread to the public. In the light of the growing unemployment problem, we have to revise our pattern of education. Our education should help the students to improve their initiative to venture boldly on self-employment opportunities. Rather than aiming at government jobs, decided on the basis of the marks secured in the examination.